Quality Films.
Is it for you or is it for me? Is it for me or for you? At the end of the day, we all know who. Do you feel you're represented right when you put your head down at night? You gotta cover up when they pull out the black light or the magnifying glass. These days, the internet be trying your ass. Dumb fast. Nobody's safe. Just don't chill. You gotta have more than skill. You gotta have a team of motherless motherfuckers ready to kill. At will and will. Not because they in your will testament. Not because they wanna ride with you just because you're an investment. I know it's rare and heaven sent. You can have so many things lined up for you to succeed. You can have all you need. It's not guaranteed. You can still succeed. Say it. Facts. You can drop the dopest album, release it the same day of terrorist attacks. Nobody cares about your metaphors and your similes when the crazy motherfuckers on a killing spree. Just name one album that's stronger than life. I'll wait for it. It's trash. So that verse entails a lot of what's going on right now and sort of recaps my history. You know, I speak on things like, you know, what am I doing this for? Like I said to you before, it's like foolish why I'm continuing when I have all these things around me that's not adding up. But why are you still doing this? You know, and you really look at, am I doing it for the people, hip hop, to be like, I'm still in it 21 years? You know, that's not the case. You know, in that rhyme I mentioned stuff like, what does it take to succeed? You know, and, you know, there's different levels on as elements that you need to be a successful artist. One, you just need to be good. You have to be able to make good songs. You have to look a certain way appealing. You have to have your team around you. And the team from management, someone helping with the tour, someone even styling you, or, you know, someone helping you just staying in shape. A lot of these artists today, they have to look a certain way. They have to be able to take off their shirt or, you know, whatever. Or if you're a fat dude with a big beard and you want to make it look good, still, it's a way. But there's so many elements that people are putting, you know, all their eggs into, and to get yourself right for, we're ready for the stage. There's no room for errors. And so many stupid things that go into why the world should take interest into you. You know, there's 100 people, there's 1,000 people, 100,000 million people that can make good records. You know, I see them all the time. You know, but what makes this person stand out? You know, soil of grace, you know, something higher. You know, it's not like you're just that different than everybody else. There's all sorts of qualities that come to it. But then you can have all those things lined up. You have your album ready, your record ready to come out. It takes a few months to get it set up with distribution. You get your date, and then 2 days before, somebody shoot the president. You know, Jay-Z smacks, you know, somebody in the club that will pull away the interest from your album. Like, I dropped an album, Hold This Down, came out October 3rd, 2001. It was 3 weeks after September 11th. Nobody cared about that album, you know, and you couldn't blame them. You know, when I got in the plane going to Germany to promote, had a release party, everything was lined up. I get there and they just want to know, where were you when the buildings fell? Did you know anybody in there? What is it like in New York? What's going on? And, you know, you can't even talk about your album. You know, my album got DJ Spinner, I got this. Nobody cares. And you have to take that L. And before that, you know, I put out my record in 95, I was selling thousands of vinyl. Second record, Visualize, came out in 97, was a huge hit. You know, it was in the top 40s in the Ego Trip book. I sold 20,000 copies. Every record I was putting out, I was over 10,000. Mind you, independent. Those are big numbers without having a big company behind me. I was touring the world from that record, all around the world. And then when this album comes out, Hold Us Down, get to retail, CDs in the towers and the Virgins in the stores, it wasn't moving because nobody cared about music. Nobody was even going to parties in Manhattan. It was such a weird time. And you just take that black eye. Next album will come in 2004, I had Will Ferrell on it.
Hey, Plex, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Will?
No, it's Ill Will. That's what they call me on the block.
Oh,
You understand me, Will Ferrell? Me, an independent artist, was able to get superstar actor on a record, doing a skit with me. He was like, yo, 50 asked me to do a skit. I said, nah, just do it with me. You know, I had Mochiba, Professor, Marx, De La Soul, Dilated People, Bismarck. I had a whole lot of people on this album. But nobody cared because they looked at the last sales from the last record. Oh, you only sold two copies. And they only gonna take two copies in the store. You gotta create your own lane. And I've been doing that with everything I do. You know, all the arts that I dabbled in, whether graffiti or painting, watercolors or markers or just pencil, you know, I tried to be unique with mine. I knew it was something because I cared about it, but I was always split with so many different things. You know, from the beatboxing to writing the rhymes, you know, I was always like, that's where it came from, the complex. Like all the different elements of art come to one, makes the complex. I shifted off into my other passion, which was the filmmaking. Mind you, I went to film school at the same time I put out my first record. So when I jumped into the film world, I was still doing shows, I was still doing stuff, I was working on movie sets, you know, learning more, but I'm with all these superstar actors, and I'm catering to them. You know, I'm driving them around. And it's wild when an actor gets in the car, spitting my rhymes to me. And I'm like, how you know that? And he's like, yo, you ill, son. But we driving through Times Square, about to hit the tunnel, and I see him on a billboard, and they just sold 90 million in the last 2 weeks in the X-Men movie. And he's sitting in my car spitting my rhymes. I'm sitting with, you know, Farrah Fawcett, noticing she's a hip-hop head. I'm like, what you doing listening to? What you listening to? And she's like, my son is 18, plays me all this stuff. I give her an album. Next day, she's coming back to me, spitting my rhymes. Now, this is Farrah Fawcett. This was an idol that you watched growing up that was on the poster on everybody's wall. And she knows Mr. Complex rhymes. And you're with all these people from, you know, Vanessa Williams, Danny Glover, Philip Seymour Hoffman that imitated me on set all the time, you know. Oh, Complex. And he starts trying to, you know, and it's weird, you know, like I used to rock football stadiums in Germany. I do stadiums in, you know, in Denmark for 90,000 people. I come back to the States, it's only a few people that know who I am. And you have to stay humble and still try to make your art. You know, how do I use these things? How do I keep it moving? You know, how do I just maintain my mind without falling apart when you don't have enough money to pay for rent because nobody's buying the records, or the whole touring thing just hit the brakes, you know? And you remember all these things and people are like, you can't get stuck on what you used to do or in the past, you gotta move on. But it's like, you know, when you hit these moments where you got friends that's still doing it, and you know, you look at what you did and you know what you still can do. You know, so sometimes you just gotta take a break. So I'm still working on the films, and then the music hit me again. You know, I started in Southside Jamaica, Queens. You know, I went to high school in Manhattan, art and design. A lot of artists, surrounded by artists. So I remember my teachers there told us, like, you know, we were selected out of the city, a big number, thousands, and you get a couple of hundred in. Everybody's nice, so it's a little different when everybody's nice next to you, you know? So how do you shine when everybody's nice? That's when you start realizing not too many people were able to take it from off the lunch table or the corner of rhyming to pressing the vinyl. Then when you get to press vinyl, you get to go to radio stations. And you get to do shows. Not everybody gets to go and do shows, go out of state. I remember when Kweli used to ask me, how do you go to down south? Well, I got to promote it, here's numbers. You know, or when the phone calls came and you got to go overseas. I was going to Europe. I was going to countries that people weren't going to, you know, that were on major labels, you know. And I would help people get out there, you know. Organized Confusion went to Japan at one time, but they wasn't going to Europe. But I knew people that was, you know, doing stuff. And when I got to go to these small countries, you know, you took it like, not many people get to go to Paris, France. You know, not many people get to go to the small towns in England, you know. And I'm rocking shows, crazy, crazy shows. But it comes back to when, you know, when stuff slowed down and, you know, you got to support your family. You know, it was hard when the bills wasn't getting paid and you get evicted. You got to make new arrangements. End up taking them, you know, down south for a minute, but I still kept coming back up from North Carolina back to New York to work on some films. You come work on a movie for like 3-4 weeks. You come back down North Carolina for a week. You go back, work on another show. I was working on Chappelle's show. We shoot like 2 weeks. You get a week off. Then the music stuff just got on hold. I dropped the last Polyrhythmatic album in 2007. Incredible stuff. Yeah, so I'm just gonna make my music, get it out to the people. Not trying to offend you, but yeah, sometimes I just speak on how I feel, and hope you enjoy it, you know. But I got this one song. It's like I just want to, you know, I'm not attacking the young folks. I'm making my music. You do what you do on this side of the world. I'm gonna be on this side doing what I do. You can come visit. It's all love, you know. But you know, this new generation X is like, it's like aliens to me. I feel sorry for them. They seem lost. They're all just failing to me. But I gotta keep in touch. So I clutch the mic. I spit some death-defying shit. It's like it's Dutch, cause it's so foreign. But I can't pull out now cause I'm so far in. I made such an impression. My style is chunky, agile like a monkey. It's so funky fresh when you put on some of that complex music. Let me show these young bloods how they do it. They put it in, they digest, it settles, and they lose it. So just be easy with your feet up as the beat gets beat up. So cold's like taking a seat on the toilet with the flipping seat up.
Money Varsity Films.